Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Games podcast, episode something or other. I don't know. I just came on.
You literally ran through the door.
Probably make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been great.
I was like, let's get this podcast going. But I was just like, the moment you started saying that, I was like, wait, am I recording? Because I knew I pulled up the thing, but I just couldn't remember. Anyways, hi everyone. I'm here after a while.
It's Allan.
It is
Allan's
Allan.
here.
He's back.
Back again.
Mm-hmm.
He's back. Tell a friend. Yep. You know who else is also back again? Me.
Josh is here. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm back from playing a hell of a lot of Magic Gathering since 2 p.m.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cause Commander.
Jeff was out playing Twilight of Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at home finishing off a novel that I wanted to talk about on the podcast. We can talk about it as we go through. A couple things happened this week.
Yeah, battletech author got canceled.
That's the thing I want to talk to you about after the chat. But okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you want to touch on it real quick, I'm of mixed opinions of this.
I don't even know what was said.
If the author's position is to be believed, which I think should be taken with a grain of salt, which is fair, like it should be taken with a grain of salt, just straight up. He may have been canceled over political reasons rather than for other things. And given what Catalyst Games Labs have said as well, it seems to be so. I'm very hesitant to like throw my hat in of no, we should just boycott Catalyst, as some people are saying. Some people are just no, we don't want anything to do with the Catalyst anymore, which I don't blame anybody. But right now, I'm currently sitting on the situation of I'm going to be emailing them, providing a strongly worded statement as to why I do not agree with this decision. Why I feel it is going to more likely hurt their position as a recovering franchise, because they are still recovering. Battletech hasn't recovered yet. Battletech is still even though it's growing because of the influx of 40k refugees, which is actually the thing. Like that's the reason why 40k is Battletech is on such a massive upturn, is because of the 40k refugee situation. That might just turn them away and just potentially kill the Kickstarter they've got coming up in September, October.
So here's what my personal opinion on this is that you're right, but this has been the problem with that we as a culture have been facing in terms of I don't want to say we've been suffering at the hands of, I forget the word, but it's like cultural imperialism or something like that. It's something where people come over and they take over a culture or take over an area. Yeah. And this has been going on for constantly since 2014, 2016. And it's only gotten worse in the past couple of months because people really don't know how to stand up. You have such a different facet of communities that make up this culture. I want to say nerd culture as a whole, that you begin to see kind of the problems with it, and you begin to kind of see the things that are kind of causing it to fall off the bandwagon per se, if that makes sense. And it's tragic because you have people like Josh who are great and wonderful people, but Josh doesn't want to fight. And you have people like me who was kind of just bitter and kind of just
tired of things.
Yeah. So
as of right now, I'm very, very, very hesitant on stuff going on right now.
I'm going to send them an email and just say, hey, I don't think this is cool. And if I can, I'm not going to buy your products. Because I don't I have enough of a collection now where it's I don't really need them. And I don't need to buy Catalyst minis if I can just 3D print them, which is probably what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
gonna say, if you get a 3D printer, I got some stuff you can print for me.
I mean, that would be cool if, like, I did, and then Josh just, like, started giving me money.
It's gonna be this weird endless circle of, we make a game, I get money, I give you back money for paying for fucking filament and shit, and then it just keeps going back in a circle.
Shit like that's gonna happen. Yeah. That reminds me, I still have to open up our game this week, and I've been, like, bashing my head against stuff for a long time. So yeah.
Fun.
But yeah, my personal opinion is like, the moment that we take politics out of this community and out of this culture, the better this is going to be. And I think that I think it's going to be something where it takes time. Well, they've been losing for a lot. They've started losing. Like, if enough people are standing up now, where it's like it's getting pretty obvious, where they're just going to fizzle themselves out. If that makes sense.
Oh, weird.
Okay.
Like, I'm just looking at some other things, and I'm like I said, I'm just gonna throw out my information, and be like, yeah, no, I don't support this. I'm not gonna cut support for Catalyst just yet, but if they keep doing things that I don't agree with, I'll get a 3D printer and 3D print my own models. I have the rule set. I don't need them anymore, basically. I've got all the old lore. I can go out and buy the PDFs off of, or just illegally download them. However, quickly to talk about BattleTech, though, because we're going to continue on. I just finished a book called A Question of Survival.
Oh, yes.
I picked it up on the recommendation of a couple people. And it's about what happens in the Tomorrow Rising source book, which is a book that came out 6 months ago now. Something like that. And that book is actually fairly good. I think it has some, like, really well done up stuff, but it's about ghost bears dealing with the consequences of what's going to be coming out in the next source book, which is Dominions Divided. And they're being forced to choose between a political situation of join the Ilkhan and stuff like that, or remain independent and potentially face the wrath of the Ilklan. And in this book, the vote is brought up while the Jade Falcons, who refused to join the Ilklan because they didn't agree with the fact that the previous Khan decided to go try and take Terra and tried to beat the Wolves, and they refused to acknowledge anything related to Terra and stuff like that, are rebuilding and basically show up to steal a bunch of Ghost Bear cadets and Officer Corps, future mech warrior pilots, all that. And it's a very good read. A little bit rough in some spots, but I do believe that it's incredibly good for the most part with the way that it does the combat, the way that it does the story. You've got things like the Hell, the Loki, actually the back of the book, it shows off all the mechs that are in the novel, which is actually pretty smart. Like the Bear Cub, the Executioner, the Grizzly, the Grendel, the Karhu, and all that stuff. Like, it does, like, a bunch of stuff very, very well. I think one of my major complaints about it, though, is everything seems to happen fairly quickly at some points. I do recommend it as a read, though. The next book I'm going to be reading related to BattleTech, though, is A Price of Redemption Rights, which deals with the Wolf's Dragoons. And it relates to events of the other book, the source book that just came out 3 weeks ago, which is Empire Alone. So it's gonna be good. I'm gonna read it. I'll tell you about that. I wonder what mechs are in this book. Wolfin, Timberwolf, Tarky, the Warlord, Werewolf.
You mean a Mad Cat? It's called a fucking Mad Cat.
No, it's a Timberwolf. I will respect it.
No, it's a Mad Cat.
I mean, technically, the Mad Cat 2 and 3 are Mad Cats.
Timberwolf
It's got
equals Mad Cat.
linebackers, Kodiak, Grand Tight. Oh, wow. I actually genuinely like the look of the mechs that are in this book. Holy jeez. In alphabetical order, it goes the Anvil, Archer, Blood Reaper, Direwolf, Dominator, Executioner, Grand Titan, Hellster, Kodiak, Linebacker, Lupus. Like, oh my god, like the most of the mechs in this novel are just heavies and assaults. Oh my god. Oh, there's a medium, there's the Storm Crow. And there's one life, which is the Wolfen. Holy shit. Wow. I might need to read this like right away. But I strongly recommend the book Question of Survival. It's really good. And with the battletech author, it's a little weird. I don't support it, but it might be just that. It might be just because of political reasons that I don't know. We'll find out. I doubt they're going to respond to me, but hey, we'll see how things go. Josh.
Yeah. Josh,
Yes.
You played Magic this week.
I have. I've played a lot of Commander. And also at my local store, they've got more product in that I not sure selfishly or more of I just splurge a little bit on buying some product from my local store, and it was I got some hits, but it wasn't this fantastic spectacular. You got $600 card hits. It was just like, oh, I could use that for a deck. Oh, I could use that for a deck. That was that type of thing.
I could get this and it would solve all my problems. I could get this and everything's going to go away. I can get this and my daddy's going to love me.
Exactly. That's how that totally goes. So far, like every week is my usual routine of, I'll go play Commander. I'm actually kind of I was trying to build a Pioneer deck so I could try to get into Pioneer, because I used to be a Modern player, and there was a time where Modern was fine. You can actually kind of get by with some weird makeshift deck and do relatively okay. But now it gets, because of the artificial injection with fucking Modern Horizons 1 and 2, it's just not feasible anymore. Like, I can't compete with the people who dropped like $2,000 on a fucking deck. And it's like, it's fucking bonkers. Like, you can do pretty well with like a very like budget deck, but you'll go up against a guy who dumped like $400, like $2,000 again on a deck because of all the incarnations that got printed in the last Modern Horizons. And man, it just sucks going up against those guys with like has all the incarnations, have basically elemental deck of 4 colors, and it's basically just what's called in a lot of competitive card games good stuff. Is just you literally put as much good cards as you can in the deck, and it doesn't necessarily have a theme, doesn't necessarily have like an objective. It's more because it has a lot of good cards, therefore it will just win because they're just high tier good cards. And that's basically what these guys are doing with these cards. It's just, I mean, there is a strategy you got to play with, and you got to, know how to use them. But at the end of the day, these cards are like $50, and it's like, I can't pay $200 for a playset, or hell, I think the most expensive one is like $70. It's like, I can't do that. I just can't. Fucking, I feel guilty getting myself what's called an Urza's Saga, which is a weird enchantment land, and I play artifacts, so I play Affinity. So fucking, I play that, and I got my Urza Sagas. They're only like $40 each, which is kind of expensive, but when you compare it to other fucking cards in that in Modern, like, that's relatively cheap. And it just gets to a point of like, man, I think I'm just gonna step away from Modern because it's just not fun anymore. Like, I just feels like I just get outplayed and outgunned, and it's just like, I hate it.
It feels pay to win when a game should not, and when the game feels pay to win.
Yeah,
it stops
exactly.
being fun. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I stopped playing War Machine, is because I remember this very cleanly. So I played Signar, right? And then they released a faction that was, or they released a model set that was just one of the units I would play, but just better. And I was just like, what? the fuck? Like, they were just better units, straight up. So it was just like, yeah, okay, I'm out. Because that was the thing that always, like, differed War Machine from, like,
not
Warhammer.
40K, not 40K until recently.
Yeah.
Different from other tabletop games where it was just, this better unit came out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, hey, X is just better. I generally don't like that where you just release things and that's the problem with Magic. Magic's had the problem with power creep for almost a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
Even back when I started playing back in like 2010, when I started playing, or 2009 I started playing. But 2010, 2012 is where power creep really became noticeable to me, and it's only gotten worse. Mind you, I stopped playing Magic in 2017, just after I finished Nate, so 2017. And I think that's the problem. They always assume that bigger is better, and X is always better, and Y is always better just by adding more things into it, which isn't a good thing. You want things to power scale off a set core of things, and that set core should always be constant throughout all the series. I think that was the problem. I think that's been a problem for Magic since they've stopped doing core sets.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, I can tell you right now, they've been very flippy floppy on that. I think they're going back on core stats again.
If they do, that might help them. But I think at this point, the core balance is so far out the field that like my commander deck, which wasn't even that top tier, was like kind of like in the middle. My old red-white commander deck that I've retooled a couple times since last saw you, Josh. I don't even think I'd be able to viably play against it with newer commander deck stuff. And I'm also not a fan of like Magic doing all these like specialty card sets now related to other IPs. I actually genuinely hate that. I thought at first I'd be like, oh, whatever, it's fine. Because even with the My Little Pony stuff that came out of the special set of like 5 cards, I was like, all right, whatever.
That's a while ago, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. But even when I saw that, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, fine. But they've got 40K, they had Godzilla, they've had
too much. They've had too much.
No, it's not even that. It's just I feel like it's undermining their franchise. It's that our franchise is just incapable of standing alone. So let's license in other franchises to like add emphasis to our game, which I don't think is a good strategy. I feel like that's actually like a fundamentally bad end-line decision and stuff like that.
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to I'm really indifferent to that. The different IPs coming in. Like at first, I was like objecting to it. Then I was like, at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter because as long as it's not brand new cards that are brand new worded cards that haven't been reprinted anywhere else, then it should be relatively fine. Except for The Walking Dead, but that actually did get reprinted somewhere else just later down the line, but it was just a situation that no one liked. But at the same time, for what was the recent print with the IP? I think it was Fortnite, believe it or not, which was pretty funny to see some of the cards that they put out with Fortnite, like all the flavor from Fortnite and stuff like that. But it's a weird, if someone, I was playing Commander and someone puts out a Fortnite card, I'll be like, well, weird, I guess, and cool, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, what card is that? What's the name? Okay, I get it. And then you kind of go on with your day. Because, I feel like with adding IP from other properties into Magic the Gathering, I'm surprised they haven't done that earlier in the lifespan of Magic the Gathering. Because, you have your own, mythos and shit, but it's you felt like you would have done that in the 2000s, if not, again, or maybe even earlier than that. But, to do it now as of late, it's again, it feels like you would have done it earlier, but I don't know. Maybe they actually had standards or something. But yeah, again, I'm just kind of indifferent to adding IPs and whatever. Again, not as long As it's not original cards being printed there, it should be fine. But I don't know. Wizards be wizards. And also they're under control of Papa Hasbro. So who knows what the future holds. I mean, I sure hope that they don't just keep trying to like Hasbro keeps digging in their teeth and just keeps going, okay, print, make a box set more expensive, make a box set more expensive, make a box set more, like, if you keep doing that, no one, the whales are going to keep buying it, but that's all who's going to buy it. And then at the end of the day, like, you just lose like 90% of your fucking player base. And it's like, yeah, no wonder, like, there's only collectors buying this shit because no one wants to play anymore. Because you keep pricing them out. Like, Christ. Whatever. For when Magic the Gathering comes out with another theme cards from another property, I'm crossing my fingers for either Mortal Kombat or Ninja Turtles. Because wouldn't it be great if you play a sorcery spell and it says, come over, get over here? And you get control of a creature and you can fucking do shit with it for a turn, and you can maybe like sacrifice it to Scorpion with a freaking finisher. It's a special move, or like as a keyword phrase on the card. Like that'd be cool. I would like that.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Jeff.
Yes, there. Yes, sir. I'm right here. I've enjoyed.
What? What did you?
I watched Terminal List this week, and then I played Destiny and Halo. You can tell me what I'm going to talk about because it's not Destiny or Halo. It's Terminal List. And more people need to watch this show. Josh, let me explain to you how great this show is. Allan's already sold on it, okay? Because Allan's going to watch it, and he's going to sit there and be like, man, Terminal List is great. It's fantastic. Okay? So let me explain to you, Josh. Have you ever wanted to watch a movie or a show that is just nonstop violence with good story and fucked up realities?
You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll assume this is good, and I'll give it a watch tomorrow while I'm at home. I'm going to be painting tomorrow. I'm going to be painting models tomorrow, so.
I'm assuming this is pretty awesome.
Yes. You know John Wick, Josh? You know John Wick?
Yes.
Yeah. This is like John Wick, but TV. And I'll get it a little bit into the plot. Basically, Chris Pratt plays Navy SEAL commander who uncovers a conspiracy in the government, or a conspiracy, and it's about him dealing with all of the underlying issues and consequences of that. At the start of the entire show, though, you watch his entire unit just get massacred.
Yep.
And it's relatively good because it's like Chris Pratt becomes a one-man army, and you're like, huh, this is actually really good. Like, this is really good. And it makes sense because instead of Chris Pratt being a highly paid assassin, he's a Navy SEAL. So you expect him to kind of be like all-out war all the time, if that makes sense. The action's good. The plot is pretty good. There's some fucky stuff that goes on that makes it a little bit confusing, but it's all good. I do have a couple of issues with it, though. The season's only 8 episodes, and I think that this thing needs a little bit bigger of a budget because there's some CG that's done, and it just looks awful.
Well, I know for a fact that the CG looking awful is probably more related to fucking Disney. Oh boy, I don't want to talk about that.
It's Amazon.
No, I'll give it a gander tomorrow when I get the chance. Like I said, I'm gonna probably end up reading Redemption Rights tonight. I'll be looking into a couple other things.
I'm gonna finish up my Berserk manga.
Hey, oh, actually, Jeff, I told you about how. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a story for the fans who are listening to this, related to BattleTech.
Oh yes.
So I have been building lances and my battle mech mercenary company and stuff like that, and I've got mostly 2 of every pack except for the few that I can't get of the Inner Sphere stuff, because I'm not exactly a fan of clan stuff, but I also don't mind it. Like if I can get like things like Shadow Cats, Kodiaks, Vultures, and stuff like that, if I can get that, that'd be awesome. But that's beside the point. But I got a second Wolf's Dragoon pack about a week ago. And I sat there and I looked at the pack because I just wanted it for an additional Mad Cat, an additional Archer, and the Rifleman, and the BJ. The Annihilator in that pack is whatever. I'm okay with that. But I was sitting there looking, and it's like, well, now I've got 2, and I really don't need another Annihilator or another Mad Cat or another Archer. And I was just like, but I got a second one because I want to have 2. I want to have at least 2 of every set. And I stopped and I said, what if I paint up this pack as a mercenary, and as the mercenary company colors, so black with red trim, and do up all that? And I just kind of sat there like, what if I do something similar for the Inner Sphere lances? So now I have a planned lance for each Inner Sphere house in their respective guard unit colors. So the Davion guards, the Liao guards, the Karita red, the Free Worlds League guard, and the Lyran guards, which are the 5 things. And I've already made up the lists of all the things. And if you want to know, like, each list is going to be something that's very iconic for them as a faction. So for the Davions, it's going to be a Valkyrie, a Blackjack, either a Victor or a Battlemaster, and either a Marauder or a Rifleman, because both those fit. Liao is going to be a Cataphract, a Hunchback, a Raven, and a Catapult. Karita, who I've already got the lance done, I legit picked up 2 packs. I picked up 3 packs and bought a single random box, and I got the lance done. Technically, I could do a second one because the support lance that you can get for BattleTech, that comes with the Cyclops, the Thug, the Spider, and the Dragon.
Yes.
That's basically all Karita mechs.
That makes sense.
But with the lance I was doing is an Atlas, a Dragon, a Jenner, and a Panther, because those are all really well known to be part of the Draconis Combine. And they're all going to be done up in nice red. I got almost all of Liao's done, which is, of course, the Hunchback, the Raven, Cataphract, and I just need a Catapult now. Davion, as I said, Davion's that. Steiner is as follows: a Zeus, a Banshee, which now I have 3 Banshees, by the way.
That's too many Banshees.
No, that's not enough Banshees. I need 8. I need to be like Big Red 40K. He has 8 Banshees. He has 8 Banshees, 8 Centurions, 8 Grasshoppers, and 8 Hatchet Men. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing with 8 Grasshoppers and 8 Hatchet Men, but I know what I'm doing with 8 Banshees and 8 Centurions. And I'm like, yeah, you do.
Just run 2 AC20s. You're good.
But yeah, I got a Banshee, a Zeus, a Griffin, and I'm also going to be doing I'm going to be getting 3 Griffins for this, but the other 2 are for a special project that I'm going to be doing. And finally, a Wolfhound. So that's the lance for Steiner. Merrick is an Archer or a Warhammer, which I think I'm just going to go with an Archer because Warhammer is very ubiquitous. A Wolverine, a Awesome, and either a Shadowhawk or
Yep.
oh my god, I just blanked on the mech's name.
Wolverine?
No, I already got a Wolverine and Lance. I think it's just gonna be it's gonna be Shadowhawk or a Phoenix Hawk, but the Phoenix Hawk I think will be I think I'll just go with a Shadowhawk, because I don't know what would be a good mech that is another like very staple Merrick mech, because Merrick has Merrick has basically access to all the mechs except for like the very specific Liao and Karita ones, like the Hachimoto Chi and like that stuff for the Toritas, and then like the Koshei, the Sun Tzu, and a number of other mechs. So I'm just like trying to be like very specifically iconic mechs for that. Believe it or not, the Davion, even though the Marauder is a very common one, if I do another lance for Davion, it's going to have a Marauder, a Victor, a Enforcer, and maybe something else. I don't remember what the 4th mech was going to be. Steiner's, if I do another Steiner Lance, I know what I'm doing for that. A commando, a stalker, and probably either a rifleman. No, actually, no, they don't have a rifleman version. Oh shit, what do I do? Yeah, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm just having fun and just like making up little fun, cute little lances ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's. Oh no, I now remember what I was going to do with Steiner. I was going to do a axeman and a hatchetman in the stalker and the commando list, because those are both also Steiner mechs, but also technically Davion mechs too. But that's beside the point. Davion, if I did another list, would have like the Crusader, Marauder, Bushwhacker, and probably.
See, I think that like what I'm doing right now is like I'm just painting all of my mechs that like I want to use as like blue, silver, gold, because I think that that's a cool color scheme, and I think that that would actually be really nice. And then what I want to do is I'm doing all my clan mechs as Jade Falcon, but I'm calling it Weeb Falcon because I'm crazy. So I have a Weeb decal that I want to get made up. That's literally just the Jade Falcon logo, but except the Jade Falcon was replaced with an anime girl. I think it's the harpy from like one of those weird animes, if that makes sense. Allan, you there?
Yeah, no, I like that idea. Well, you picked up the Wolf's Dragoon today.
Yeah, and then I also got a Vapor Eagle, so I'm gonna make it.
You got the strike star, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna also make the Ferrari Vapor Eagle.
I kind of want to get a clan heavy star again, because the Wolf's Dragoon used the clan Marauder 2C, the Warhammer 2C. They also used the Warhammer, and I can see them using a Hunchback and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like, I'm trying to keep as of right now, when the next mercenary mercenary lance packs that are coming out, like the Wolf, like the Great Death Legion, Kill-Hounds, the Highlanders, Waco's I think it's Waco's Rangers and Air Identity Light Horses come out. I'm getting 2 of each at least. And and one of each pack is going to be painting in their respective unit colors. And I'm going to be finding out what each unit looks like so I can make sure that I got it correct. Because I know the Arendari Light Horse is a very drab gray or drab green, green or like drab brown, not drab green, a very like not a traditional military green, but like an old U.S. Army uniform color. Like it's green, but it's a very faded green.
I mean, one of the guys who I play with, he has a griffin that looks like came off of a Capellan line, but it's like the World War I uniforms, if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Well, Capellans do a lot of their mechs in green. Technically,
this one's gray.
Gray. Yeah, I can see that. By the way, those 2 griffins I told you about, like I was going to get 2 more extra griffins, and just for Lyrans, I'm going to be doing them up as the Royal Guard Lyrans, griffins. Mm-hmm. So if you look up the Steiner throne room, there are 2 griffins on either side of the Archon's throne, and I'm just like, I'm gonna paint them up in those specific colors. That way, I can if I want to do like a really cool scenery piece, and I want to do the Archon's throne, because if I was going to do like one of the Grey House's throne rooms, I would do that one, because I don't like the look of the Davion one. I really don't like the look of the Karita one. I haven't seen the Liao one, and Merrick's is a fucking parliamentary hall, and I don't want anything to do with that shit. But the Steiner has this very beautiful hall. It's marbled floors, blue pillars, the banner of the Lyran Commonwealth in the background, 2 griffins, and technically a balcony for like viewers to sit down and look on. It's raised up and over, like kind of like how Parliament has for us here in Canada. And it looks really, really cool. I think we should get Josh into this game.
I mean, I've been trying, and Josh every single time goes, I should, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
because that requires. Yeah, I got him the fucking game. I saw him boot it up once.
Yeah,
once.
Come on, Josh.
I should
Play the
Josh,
game. Josh,
I demand a live stream on Monday.
I demand a batchal.
I demand a batchal. If you refuse my batchal, you'll be banned from the podcast.
Oh. Speaking of batchals, I was in a chat, and we're just shooting the shit, talking, and the host of the chat pops in and says hi, da 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 da, and we're all like just kind of like shooting the shit and stuff like that.
See, Josh, the funny thing is Josh is going to rent a nuke, and then I'm just going to be done.
And rented.
That's a deep cut. For people who don't understand, type in discount Dan rent a nuke. Anyways. So yes, Allan, your story.
All right, so we're just shooting the shit. We're playing like we're talking about like how like what kind of like faction you want to be, what kind of like why would you play like with this, and I'm sitting there like Lyran Commonwealth, Torian Concordat, and Ghost Bears, like, and then one of the guys is just casually just like filthy Ghost Bear, and I'm like, I will batch all you right here. And he's like, I wouldn't even refuse because you're a Ghost Bear. You dare refuse my batch all? We did just the chat, and we're just like giggling all to ourselves, and then one of the guys accidentally types in, and this is the point of this joke. Why would you want to play Clowners? And like we all started laughing. And we're like the Clowners, and he was like, "That was an autocorrect," and legit straight up, we were like, "Holy shit, you need to fix that." And as of now, we have an emote that is just them, that is just like that you dare refuse our batch all, but he's painted up with clown face, and it's just like yes. So we've taken to calling the clanners Clowners in the chat. It's just so much fun.
I mean, clanners are basically clowners, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. What else do we have to talk about this week? Josh?
I actually played more of
Inscription. I saw that in chat there.
Yeah.
You played.
I actually finished it.
Sort of. You finished it in quotations.
Yes, big quotations, because now I got to go back into it because I'm realizing like the ending was like, that was an ending, but I was like, hold on, there was something about it that felt off, and I was like, let me go back in the game again, and then I was like greeted with more stuff than I was used to, and also seems like. Right. Someone else is fucking doing shit. And I'm like, what? Who's doing shit?
What game?
This time.
Where are you in this game?
So I literally finished it the first time.
Okay, okay. Where are you? Like, what segment did you beat the druid guy and like trap him in like his camera and stuff like that? Yeah.
So I completed the whole game like I did. So, like, basically, there's different acts. There's the cabin, and then evolves into, like, the 8-bit...
the 8-bit Game Boy version.
Yeah, Game Boy version, and then it keeps progressing into weird variations. Basically, I like the cabin section probably a little more than, like, I think a lot of people kind of do. Simply because it was, like, just you in the cabin and just trying to figure out the rules.
Yeah.
And as things start increasing with the card complexity, like it's really
when you get the chance, you need to get Ouroboros and just keep killing it and sacking it because you keep getting it back and it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and that thing persists. By the way, that strength persists through the game. Like
I figured that out.
And there is another version to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So, like, basically, when I say I finished it, I did get all the way to the end, and I saw credits. But then like I said, it's like this felt weird. So I went back to play it again, and it's just more clues about when you go back into the game. It was just like, it feels, like I said, like someone else is recording, and I'm like, who's recording? Who's using this fucking this fucking recording setup to record this shit? I'm like, this is weird. So I gotta play the game more, and there's actually an extended story or something, because there's a mod that's it says mod, but I'm like, it's not a mod. It's more of the story of the game. When you go to the menu and there's the mod thing on, so I'm like, I gotta check that out. If I remember, trying to remember all the sections, but it's been a while because I stopped right at like, was it Act 4, and then I continued past Act 5 just to like kind of finish it up and like see what else there is. And so far, like the card game mechanics and like the different layers of card game mechanics on top of that, like I almost wish Inscription was kind of a real card game, because I'm like, man, I think I probably have fun with this, but there's probably some interactions that I don't think would fly at all in a physical card game, like cutting your card in half and combining it with another card. I don't think that would fly. No. But yeah, like I highly recommend the whole card game. It's very fun. Actually, I'm just realizing I have the badge for the getting the level 5 badge for Inscription, which is pretty hilarious. I must have got that and didn't realize I got it.
So you've played through the first part in the cabin, correct?
Yeah.
How did you feel about that 8 grizzlies spawning?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, the 8 grizzly thing, that was like, I literally was scratching my head over and over going, how do I get through this?
You were supposed to lose that. You're supposed to lose there. However, I saw somebody beat it the first time they got there, and I just giggled when it happened, because the game just kind of like, it just carried on to the next scenario. All right, I guess you just keep going, because you're supposed to like lose by that point. Like...
Yeah, actually, there was one scenario in the game. I mean, this is kind of spoilers because everything about the game is kind of a surprise because you're not sure what's going to happen next. But the main big boss at the end of the cabin series is you fucking fight the moon.
The moon?
Like literally when the guy who's setting up this board game, he goes, man, we need to find a actual boss for you that's equivalent to kicking your ass, and he looks at the moon, he goes, that's perfect. He takes a picture of it, throws it on the table, and not realizing how big it is, it just engulfs the entire playfield. And you go, what do I do here? It's not even a card, it's just literally the moon. And it turns out like I forget what it was. It was like did it have health, infinite health, or it had infinite attack? I can't, like, it's something infinite. It was huge, took up the whole playing field, and it turns out it was like, you gotta play the clock, and you gotta run it down just so you can live enough to get past the stage and win. It was like, oh shit, you gotta really figure out what to do in this card game or to get past the fucking moon.
Yeah. I watched a couple of people, like I actually watched somebody play against the moon and just like, Ouroboros, 2020, swing once, swing twice. Oh look, the game is over.
Yeah.
It happened so quick. Although I think my favorite thing is that depending upon if you have a certain animal, a certain character or the thing, the character, like when moon activates the gravity powers, it sucks up like certain things under a specific power level. And you apparently like if the stout goes up, you can just see the stout orbiting the moon in the card, and it's really funny. Like there's a number of creatures that you'll just see, like more often than not they'll just end up dead. But then you'll see specific like little animations of the stout up in the moon, and you'll see like words spawning next to it as it's fucking shouting or something like that. It's like fucking gold. The goat, I do love the eyes that you can get in the game, where like if you lose one of your eyes for like playing just to keep playing, but you can get one of the guys is a goat eye.
Oh.
And if you look at the goat card, the black goat or the sacrificial goat card, when you've got the goat eye, it's a sexy goat, and it's just like, I didn't expect that.
Oh no, more furry shit.
No, it's genuinely funny. Hang on, let me get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to
there's-
play this game. That's what I'm learning.
It's a good card game. It's a very if you're I was gonna say if you're familiar with Magic the Gathering a little, it would probably help you out a bit of like how the mechanics kind of work.
All right.
But but other than that, like there is still a lot of variation on the mechanics. Like when you're attacking, you have to think about what card is in front of the other card. First, like, oh, this card can attack in 2 directions, but because it attacks in 2 directions, it actually counts as 1 hit and a second hit, like double strike. And I'm like, oh,
yep,
that's kind of neat.
It's actually it's really clever.
Oh yeah, it's like a super good mechanic because you like can stack up damage real hard if you plan it just right.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, there is the there's what the card normally looks like, Jeff.
Okay.
This is what the card looks like when you have the goat eye in. Unironically.
Oh.
Anime eyes blush.
He's hot and bothered.
I fucking just love that book. It's just so funny. I was like, I saw that the first time. I was like, wow.
Wow.
That's real good.
What else? What else is there to talk about tonight?
I don't think there's anything.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else to talk about. Do you have anything else to talk about there, Jeff?
I mean, I think that we can end the show.
I'm good for that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think next week I got to talk about Stray because I did buy Stray, and it's the hottest game on the market right now. So somebody's got to play it. Josh.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna get it, but I'm like, I heard how kind of short it is, and I'm like,
Well, I still got to play
know.
the Looker, so there'll be that. Tune in on Monday because there's actually this. Yeah, there will probably be stuff happening this weekend. I don't know. I need to talk to Josh before we make plans, but tune in on our Twitch live stream. Allan's not there.
I won't be.
if it doesn't fail.
Allan's not there because Allan likes having fun.
I like doing work.
Yeah.
He loves work.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you everyone for listening to Black Man Games Podcast. You can listen to us every Thursday on blackmangames.podbean.com. You can subscribe to us you can listen to us every Thursday, and you subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app of choice. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Allan. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.